Hi everyone, let's talk about toxic breast implants. I had these put in the UK around 11 years ago, and then I very recently had them taken out in Turkey, which is where I am now recovering. So I posted a reel yesterday about finding out that I had the toxic implants, and I had so many messages and so many questions from other people. So I thought I would do a breakdown of what it is that I know about the toxic implants and the journey that I've been on. I want to start this by saying I am a registered nurse in the UK and I work in private healthcare. However, I've never worked in a hospital or a clinic that provides breast implants. So I'm not coming at this from a nurse's point of view. I'm coming at this from my personal journey and as a consumer. So if we rewind to around 11 years ago, I had breast implants put in by Transform Medical Group in the UK. And I remember at the time they asked me if I wanted to pay more to have a soft touch implant. That's what they called it, soft touch. They said it would be more natural. And it was actually the Allergan, which is spelled Allergan. That's the brand of the implant. It was the Allergan textured implant, which was meant to be more natural and soft touch. So I remember paying about £400 more, and I think my surgery at the time 11 years ago was between £4,000 and £4,500. So I had the surgery, everything was fine, and I've had them in for the past 11 years and they never caused me any problems. The only thing was, as I got older, cosmetically I felt like they didn't look as good. They've been there for 11 years, and I know usually after about 10 years they say to replace them. And I felt like because I'd exercised a lot, they'd become a little bit droopier, further out to the sides. I had a big gap in the middle, so I knew that I wanted to get them changed anyway. But a couple of years ago, I saw Amy Kenyon from Married at First Sight post about these toxic implants. And obviously Amy was on the season of Married at First Sight before me, but I didn't know Amy at this time. So she mentioned that she had these toxic implants put in the UK by Transform, and it was around the same time that I had mine done. So obviously when I watched that video, my heart dropped, I panicked, I thought, oh my God, what if I've got these? I had a little look through all my documentation. I couldn't find anything that said whether they were the textured ones or not, because I believe that Allergan do smooth and they do textured, and textured were the only ones that were causing a potential risk. Anyway, I spoke to Amy, and in the end, after going on to Married at First Sight myself and speaking to Amy directly, I decided to come to Turkey and have them removed and have new fresh implants put in. I'll talk to you about my surgery in a completely different video, but I've gone to the same surgeon as Amy, and it's all been coordinated by the same medical group, Phoenix. So when I woke up from the surgery here a few days ago, the surgeon confirmed that I did in fact have the textured implants that are a risk. So just to talk to you about what the risk is, they're not to be confused with PIP or PIP implants. So the PIP scandal, as far as I'm aware, this is just from my personal research, was industrial grade silicone was being manufactured and put into people's bodies, and it was never meant for human use. And the manufacturer of it knew that before it went out to the market. That's why it was a scandal. It was never the case with Allergan. They were eligible for usage when they were first manufactured and everything was fine. But as time went on, in around 2018, 2019, Allergan textured implants were recalled. And that was because they found that whatever design that they'd made these implants into to give them that textured, soft appearance was actually at a risk of causing breast implant large cell lymphoma. I've spoken to so many people over the past few days, people that have said that they've had these implants in and then since had them taken out, and for the entire time that they've had them in, they've had health issues. And then they've been to the GP and they've been misdiagnosed with autoimmune disease or perimenopause, or a vast array of different misdiagnoses. I've had other people say to me that they have suffered with health issues and they didn't have any ruptured implants. They had these textured implants, but they weren't ruptured, but they still had health issues that they believe were related to having the implants in. So the only reason that I'm posting this video is just to clarify that they're not PIP implants, they're a completely different brand. They are now completely recalled from Europe, so you can't get the Allergan textured implants anymore. I would urge you that if you had implants from 2018 or before, or 2019 or before, double check the brands that were used. And if you do find out that they were Allergan, sorry, I think I'm pronouncing it wrong, but if you do find out that they were Allergan textured implants, then take steps to have them removed, because even though the risk is very low, there's still risk for a very, very serious issue. If you have any questions, pop everything in the comments down below and I will get back to you there. I'm going to document the rest of my journey here in Turkey, so feel free to follow along and you can see how my breast augmentation journey is going. Thanks so much.